Okay, this last problem here I want to go through just because it's a little different and it's a little more difficult, but it's very deserving of a 200 level math course and be prepared for these to get even harder in the homework. Um, because I don't try to do the hardest questions with you, I try to just get you the building blocks you're going to need going forward. So, first things first. We're going to invest in two stocks. In your homework, we might go to 3, 4, 5. Anyway, but we're going to invest in two stocks. Stock A was $100 per share and paid a 1.55% dividend. Stock B was $12 per share and paid a 7.35% dividend. So the idea here is this stock is probably a little more stable. It's paying a lower dividend, less risk. The other one, $12 per share, 7.35% dividend, probably a little more risk involved. And so when you're creating a portfolio, if anybody's going into finance, you want to manage your risk. You want to, depending on your client, either have higher or lower risks, and you build a portfolio around that. So this person is going to invest $30,000, but needs $1,200 per year dividend return. This is what they're looking for. How many shares of each stock, assuming you're going to invest all the entire $30,000, should you buy? And we're going to round our purchases to the nearest whole number share. So you can purchase partial shares, half a share, whatnot, but we're going to just do whole number shares. We'll round. Okay. So if they have to spend a little more than 30,000 or just slightly under 30,000, that's okay. We'll just go to the nearest whole share. Okay. So first things first. Can you find the variable? What is the question? How many shares of each stock should you buy? So we need, maybe just call it A equals number of shares of A, and B would be number of shares of B. All right, so now we're looking for things that relate stock A and stock B. What do they both have in common? Well, stock A has a price and stock B has a price. So those prices are going to go together to make our total price of $30,000. So stock A is $100 per share, so A times 100 plus stock B is $12 per share, and that should equal $30,000. Here's the hard one, the dividend. Because we have to remember, dividend is a measurement of money, right? Okay, it's a measurement in dollars. And a lot of times I'll see a student make a mistake. They'll do something like this. They recognize, all right, stock A is 1.55% dividend, so they're going to do something like this. 1.55A plus 7.35B, and that's equal to 1,200. Well, does that make sense? The units on this is dollars. Would the units on this be dollars? No, 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 no. Because that's number of shares times 1.55%, right? So if you did 1.55% times number of shares, that doesn't make sense. There's no dollars in that, right? So, okay, so this is clearly not correct. We got to rethink how we're going to get dollars from this. Okay, so A, that's the number of shares, right? Now, each share costs $100. All right, that's not too bad. So, therefore, now I have how much money we're going to spend. And of that, we're going to get back 1.55%, but let's write that as a decimal. So that's 0.0155. So if I take this and multiply 0.0155 times 100, that would be how the dividend of my number of shares of A. So therefore, similarly, I'm just going to scoot this over, give myself a tiny bit more room. Okay, so therefore, similarly, the exact same setup, 0.0735 times, the price of B, so times $12. So 7.35% of $12 would be the dividend on one share. Then we're going to multiply that by the number of shares in total, and that needs to equal $12,000. Now our units match. So we'll do this one last problem, and this is definitely a calculator problem. Please don't do this by hand. Yes, I know some of you can do it. In fact, I know all of you could do it. but you don't need to, right? Use your time better. All right, so here we go. 100, 12, and 30,000. And the next fun thing I want to show you here, you can actually type in the values here. So you can type in the 0.0155 times 100 and let that fill it in. So 0.0735 times 12. There we go. And 12,000. 12,000. No, that's not right. 1,200. 1,200. Let's get rid of one of those zeros. There we go. Pardon my mistake. All right. But that's an easy fix. There we go. And this is why you check before you move on. So 100 shares, $100 per share, $12 per share, $30,000. Yes. Okay, then those two numbers were multiplied in the calculator, so that's right. $1,200, that's right. So now we're good to go. We're going to do reduce echelon form. And what do we get? I got A equals 173 shares, and B equals 1,056 shares. So to get them as close to that value as possible with whole number shares, they should buy 173 shares of stock A and 1,056 shares of stock B. So I hope this kind of illustrates the idea that not everything is just going to be picking numbers off the page. Really watch your units carefully. Make sure dollars plus dollars equals dollars, right? Make sure that your units are all matching up. And always start by defining your variables. I can't tell you how many times people make silly mistakes because they just didn't think about what the variable was. All right, we'll see you in the next video.